ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है आज के इस भगवद गीता के सत्र में।
We welcome all of you to today's class on Bhagavad Gita. We are studying third chapter, verse 14 onwards.
यहाँ प्रकरण कर्मयोग का चल रहा है क्योंकि अर्जुन का
Here the topic is Karma Yoga because Arjuna's question was that whether he should fight or no. Because in the second chapter, Bhagavan
की बात की थी
had spoken of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, and it appeared as if Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga was superior to Karma Yoga. So Arjun had the doubt. So in reply, Bhagavan is answering here that performing karma is extremely essential because there are very few people eligible for Jnana Yoga. And then Bhagavan explained the process of Karma Yoga, that how from the beginning of creation, Prajapati Brahma created the system of Yajna so that people perform Yajna, fulfill their desires, and this world continues. And those who do not accept this, for them, Bhagavan said that they are implicated in sin, meaning those who cook food for themselves. And here, cooking food is indicative of other actions also, meaning one who performs actions only for himself but does not contribute anything for the world, for the public, or society at large. He is a sinful person. And the meaning is that every person is using so many things from the world, from society, and then he maintains his livelihood, but in return he does not contribute anything to this world. The next two verses, 14 and 15, in this Bhagavan clarifies this point further. And this is not just something about Shastra, it can be understood by logic also.
तो इस श्लोक में बोलते हैं अन्नाद भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्न संभवः यज्ञाद भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः. सभी प्राणी
Translation: all beings subsist on food, and food is produced from rain. Rain is caused by yajna, and yajna ensues from prescribed duty.
इसी श्रृंखला में फिर आगे 15वां श्लोक भी है. कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवम विद्धि ब्रह्म अक्षर समुद्भवम तस्मात् सर्वगतम ब्रह्म नित्यम यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम. यह जान लो कि
Translation: know that prescribed duty originates from the Vedas, and the Vedas manifest from the indestructible Parabrahman. Therefore, all pervading Brahman, that is Parabrahman, is ever present in Yajna. So here the 14th verse, in this the first line can be understood by everyone because it can be perceived directly with the senses. It is not something about Shastra, that all living beings, they subsist on food. Whatever is the prescribed food for them, if they do not get that, then they cannot live, they will die. Because our body is like a machine. Like you have a car or any other machine, in order to drive that, you need some external energy. If you do not get that energy from external source, the car cannot function. Similarly, body also, in order to function, it needs energy from external source. It works on prana. And food is derived from material nature. And in that, the main component required is water, because whether it is grass, trees, plants, everybody needs water. That's why in Sanskrit, water is considered as life. There are many synonyms for water in Sanskrit. One synonym is life. Even scientists agree that when they when they explore other planets, they search for water, because if there is water, only then we can live there. Because without water, life is not possible. That's why here also it is said that food is produced from rain. So this much can be understood by everyone. The next line, for that one, Shastra is the only Praman, because there it is said that rain is caused by Yajna. In this matter, the modern mindset will find difficult to accept. They will say that how is that possible? Because we have learned that rain is produced from clouds. Actually, the word Parjanya also means clouds. And here it refers to Yajna. So it happens by clouds only, but then how are clouds formed? Then they will say that it happens by evaporation of water from the ocean. So that is true. Shastras also accept this point. In Shastra also there is description that how the sun rays, they, due to them the water evaporates, it forms clouds. So this description is given in the Puranas and the Smritis also. So it is not that they do not know this, but still they say that don't restrict your understanding to this much only, that uh, do not consider the sun and the sun rays just as some inert matter. Like it was said earlier also,
आहुति दीजिए, ये प्रसन्न
that
होकर आपको
you do fire you do ahuti for the devatas and they will fulfill your desires. So the point is that our scientific vision is fine, but it is not complete. There is something beyond that also which modern science does not know, and that is that behind these objects there is some living force also that is operating, whom we call devas or devatas, and they control this. Like if you are walking on the street,
जितने भी आपके वो लाइट का है, रेड लाइट, ग्रीन लाइट वगैरह सिस्टम जो चलता
whatever
है,
you see the traffic signal system, red light, green light, you do not see any person there. You just see the red and green lights. They seem to be working automatically.
पीली हो जाती है, लाल हो जाती है, फिर कुछ दिन बाद, फिर समय बाद फिर बदल जाती है. तो आप ऐसा तो नहीं देख रहे कि कोई आदमी बैठा हुआ है
So
वहां
you
पे.
do not see any person sitting there and changing the light from red to green. It works by its own program.
हमें तो पता है कि ये किसी ने
So
इसको बनाया है,
we know that somebody has designed that program. That's why it is working. But if somebody does not know about that, they will think that this is just working automatically.
लेकिन वास्तव में तो उसके पीछे एक
But
प्रक्रिया है,
actually,
एक
there is a
मैनेजमेंट
mechanism behind that. There is a management, there is a system.
वो हमको नहीं दिखती है तो भी है.
We do not, although we do not see that, but we know that it is there.
वर्षा होती है,
Similarly,
चले जाते हैं, वर्षा होती है, लेकिन इसके पीछे भी एक
there is rain. So behind rain also there is a mechanism, and that is what Shastra is explaining here. Bhagavan is explaining here that behind rain there is yagya performed by human beings, meaning that human beings perform their karma.
वृष्टि होती है, लेकिन हमेशा तो नहीं होती है, और कभी ज्यादा
Because
हो जाती है, कभी
rain does not happen always. Sometimes it is in excess, sometimes it is in deficit. But Shastra describes that earlier, when people were religious, performing their karma, then rainfall also used to happen in the same amount as per their requirement.
दिन में नहीं होती थी ताकि लोगों को कोई
And it is also said that it used to happen at the night, not in the daytime, so that people do not get disturbed. So we may be surprised at this, but actually we are seeing in the material nature, even modern science accepts that
संतुलन बना के रखता
material nature maintains its
है.
balance.
कमी होती है तो
Wherever there is any deficit,
के लिए
then
कुछ दूसरी चीज पैदा होती है.
something else gets born in nature in order to fulfill that deficit. That's why nowadays there is talk of ecology,
बचा के रखना चाहिए.
that we should protect the species, because every species has its own contribution in this world. Even if it is mosquito, mosquito also has contribution in material nature.
खत्म कर देंगे
If you destroy a species entirely, then it will definitely show its impact somewhere in the material nature. It is not that there will be no impact,
प्रकृति जिस तरह से बनाई हुई है वो
because the way the material nature is designed, everyone is interdependent, and that's how the ecological balance is maintained. Like in Shastra it is said that one jiva depends on the other jiva. So if you destroy the one species, then it will definitely have impact on the other one.
तो शरीर के
Like we have our body,
दूसरे के
so all the
और एक दूसरे
organs of the body, they are complementary,
चलता है.
they help each other,
अब इसमें से
and by their cooperation the body functions. So if you take out one organ, it will definitely have impact somewhere in the body,
अनुभव ना हो, हमारी अनुभूति
although we may not experience that, maybe its impact is not severe enough for us to experience it, but definitely it will have impact. When you do not have toothache, you feel that tooth may not have any connection with the brain, but if you take out the tooth from the mouth, it will have impact on your eyes, your brains, everywhere. And when there is toothache, it goes in, it affects your brain also. I am undergoing dental treatment, so I can feel, I can experience that. As long as it is working it properly, we feel that what is its connection with something else. When you have severe pain in some part of the body, even while coughing, you will feel that pain.
और शरीर में जितने प्रकार के सेल हैं,
But so its connection is with the entire body. All the cells in the body, they cooperate with each other, and that's how the body functions. Similarly, in this material nature also, all the different types of organisms, the species, they all need each other. That is why in the Indian dharma, Bhuta Yagya system was there, that feed other species also, like ants, birds. What is called Bhutadev Vaishvabali Yagya, that is, this is what it means. So it is important to protect them also. So the essence of all this is that it is all possible by yagya only. So yagya, the word yagya means dan, puja, sangati karana, collecting things together, collecting people together. This is how everyone is maintained and nourished, because all the different species which are there, out of them, the human species is the only one which has the responsibility to perform karma. All the other species, they just function according to their swabhava. Shastra statements are not applicable to them. They are not supposed to follow Shastra. But Shastra's injunctions apply on human species, because human being has that intelligence to take decisions and then choose to perform action or not to perform action. Human species is the only one which functions not just by swabhava. It has its own intelligence to make decisions also. That is why it is the responsibility of humanity, human beings, to protect this nature. That is why human body is considered, given so much importance in Shastra. And Bhagavan himself says that I have created this human body in the shape of my body. The design of human body is created based on the design of Bhagavan's body. This is spoken of in Bible also, and in many places in our Shastra also. So this body is extremely important, and when it is said that along with rights you get responsibilities also. So human beings have got the maximum rights because we have hands, we have the power of speech, we have the power of thinking, discriminating to take decisions which other jivas do not have. So Bhagavan has given this adhikar, this right to us. So then we also have the responsibility to perform yagya. And yagya means this much only, that we just do not live a self-centered life, but we think about the entire world, because the whole world is one unit which is made of all the organisms. So whatever we do, it affects the entire world. Nowadays, science also accepts this point. It says there is something called the butterfly effect. That is why it is our duty to not act in such a way that disturbs the balance of material nature, or it gives trouble to other living entities. Because when you give pain to the other living entities, then it will return to you only. This is the law of nature. This is the law of karma. If you give happiness to others, you will get it back. If you give pain to others, you will get it back. It may take some time, like you play carom, so it hits different sides and it will come back to you. If you throw a ball inside a round object, then it may keep hitting different sides and it will come back to you. So the law of nature functions in this way. You are functioning and bringing some result, so that result will return to you only. Everything is interconnected in this world, and we can understand this by the example of our own body. So those people who exploit others, who give pain to others, they are actually in planning pain for getting pain in their own life. This is guaranteed that they will get pain in future. But because it does not come quickly, so then we think that how does it matter to me? And that's why people say that irreligious people are enjoying life and religious people are suffering. But this is not true. We feel like this because of our limited vision. That is why Shastra Shastra raises us above our limited vision and gives the real vision. That is why what is being spoken of here, that rain happens by yajna, it is true, because if everyone performs yajna, then material nature will be happy and will fulfill our desires. And yajna is born from prescribed duty. Meaning, yajna means to perform a specific type of action or karma. To sacrifice dravya for the pleasure of devata. And in order to understand that, we need Veda. That's why it is said that this prescribed duty, it does not refer to action in itself, but it refers to prescribed action, which is prescribed in Shastra, that this is what we should do or this is what we should not do. So that is known from the Veda. Meaning that we understand this from the Shastra. Now somebody may say that Shastras are written by somebody, so they may have mistake also. So that's why it is said that Vedas have manifested from the indestructible Parabrahman. So what does it mean? So Brahmakshara Samudbhava means that Vedas are not the creation of any human being. That is why the the defects which are observed in human being, those defects are not present in the Vedas. The Brahma, Pramad, Vipralipsa and Karana Patav, the four defects that human beings have, and because of which whatever actions human beings perform, they also have these defects. But Vedas do not have these defects. So here the word Brahma means Ved. So Veda has appeared from Bhagavan. It is said in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also.
ऋग्वेदम यजुर्वेदम सामवेदम अथर्ववेदम पुराण इतिहासम से, ऐसा कि ये भगवान के श्वास के रूप में प्रकट हुए हैं.
So it is said that they have appeared from the breathing of Bhagavan, which means that Bhagavan has also not created them and they are Nitya. Just like our breathing continues and we do not plan for breathing. We do not plan that now I will breathe in or breathe out. When that happens, that is called pranayama. but the normal breathing, it just happens unconsciously, even while sleeping. So just as it happens naturally, similarly, Bhagavan's knowledge is also swabhavik, it is natural. Just like he is Nitya, his breathing is also Nitya.
यानी कि इसमें जो कर्ता के दोष होते हैं वो नहीं है,
Meaning, the defects which are present in the doer, they are not present in the Veda. First of all, Vedas do not have any doer, any writer, or even if you consider Bhagavan as the doer, he does not have any dosh. That is why the knowledge that we get from the Vedas, they are supremely beneficial for us.
ग्रंथ रचना करते हैं
So when Bhagavan and some rishis, they give us scripture, it is meant for the benefit of society. They do not do this for any personal benefit or fulfilling any personal motive or accumulating wealth,
लेकिन वो लिखते ही इसलिए हैं
but they
कि
write
जो
with the purpose
समाज के लोग हैं
that
जो अपने अज्ञान के
the
कारण
people in
परेशान हैं
society
तो
who
उनको
are
कुछ
suffering
दिशा
due to their ignorance, they should get proper direction
भगवान तो स्वयं
in life.
आत्माराम
So
आत्माराम है,
Bhagavan is
उनकी
Atmaram,
इच्छाएं पूर्ण है, उनको
all
कुछ
his
नहीं चाहिए,
desires are
तो ऐसा
fulfilled.
व्यक्ति
He
ही
doesn't need
समाज
anything
को
from
लाभ दे
anyone.
सकता है।
Only such a person can
दूसरा
benefit the society.
जिसको अपनी कुछ आवश्यकताएं
One
होती
who
हैं
has personal
तो
desires,
वो
personal needs,
कुछ काम करेगा तो अपनी
when
आवश्यकताओं
that
को पूर्ण
person
करेगा,
performs some activity, he will do it for fulfilling his personal
जैसे
needs.
तत्त कामस्य चेष्टितम कि कोई भी व्यक्ति कुछ काम करता है
Shastra
तो अपनी
says
काम
that when any person performs any action, he does that to fulfill his own desire.
काम है
But those who are
उनकी
aptakama, whose
पूर्ण इच्छाओं
desires
को पूर्ण
are
करेगा तो
purna,
उसको
already
दूसरी
fulfilled,
कामना
why when they perform some action, why will they perform that action to
जैसे
fulfill
भगवान
some
स्वयं
desire? Because they do not have any more desire.
कर्मवाप्तव्यम
Like
वर्तते
Bhagavan will tell later
यहीं पर के मेरे को तो कुछ प्राप्त करना नहीं
that I do not have to obtain anything, but still I am always engaged in action.
तो
Why
क्यों
am I
इसलिए
engaged in action?
ताकि
I
लोग
perform action so
मेरे
that
उदाहरण से सीखें
people see my example and they also walk on the proper
अगर
path.
मैं नहीं करूँगा तो मेरे उदाहरण लेके
And if
दूसरे
I do
लोग
not perform any action, then
मेरे
people will
जगह
take
पे जो है
a
वो
wrong example from me and
अन्य लोग
then they will also
काम
stop
करने
acting
लगेंगे
and this world will be destroyed.
तो कहते हैं ये संसार विनष्ट हो जाएगा, तो इसलिए
Then this
भगवान
world will be destroyed.
के जो भक्त हैं जो ऋषि
That
लोग
is
हैं वो
why
कार्य
Bhagavan,
करते
his
हैं
bhaktas,
तो जो
the
कल्याणकारी
sages,
हैं
when they act for the benefit of
तो
humanity.
इसलिए उनकी
That is
जो
why
भक्ति है
their actions
वो निर्दोष होती है,
are free from
यही
defects.
दिखाने के लिए यहाँ पर कहा कि ब्रह्म अक्षर
In
समुद्भवम,
order to prove that, here it is said,
तो
Brahma
शब्द
Akshara
का सार
Samudbhavam.
क्या है
The purport of the essence of
तस्मात् सर्वगतम
speaking
ब्रह्म
all this is
नित्यम यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम, तो इसलिए जो सर्वगत ब्रह्म है यहाँ पर अब ये ब्रह्म शब्द थोड़ा भ्रम पैदा कर सकता है,
so it is mentioned here all pervading Brahman. The word Brahman may be confusing here. In the second
वेद
line,
से नहीं है, यहाँ पर वेदों
Brahma
से है।
does not refer to Ved,
आप चाहे
it
तो दोनों
refers
ही
to
अर्थ इसके ले
Bhagavan.
सकते हैं,
Although
लेकिन
both the
एक
meanings
यज्ञ
can be
को
taken,
यज्ञ में लगाया जा
even if
सकता
you
है
take the word meaning as
और
Veda
भगवान
here,
को भी यज्ञ में लगा सकते
it can be connected with Yajna,
हैं,
or if
इसलिए
you
आप
take the meaning Bhagavan,
क्योंकि यहाँ
can be connected with
सर्वगत है
Yajna. The point
इसलिए
here is that
एक
because
वेद
all
है
pervading is mentioned here, that is why it is not so much
सर्वगत
appropriate to take the meaning of Brahma as Veda, because Veda is not all
सर्वगत
pervading.
ब्रह्म, तो सर्वगत जो ब्रह्म है यानी कि जो भगवान है जो
So the all
तत्व
pervading
वस्तु है,
Brahman mentioned here, which refers to Bhagavan, Tattva Vastu, they are ever
उनसे क्या
present
होता है
in
कि यज्ञ के
Yajna.
माध्यम से वो
So the
प्रकट होते
point
हैं,
is that they can be
इसीलिए
available through the medium
वेदों
of
का सार जो
Yajna,
है वो
meaning
यही है
that the essence of
कि
Vedas
आप
is this only,
अपना जीवन जो है वो यज्ञ रूप में
that
बनाइए,
you make your
इसी से
life
आपका कल्याण होगा।
Yajna. This will bring
क्योंकि शास्त्र
benefit in your
वो
life,
हमें शिक्षा देता
because
है हमारे कल्याण के
Veda
लिए,
Shastra, they instruct
तो
us for
इसलिए
our own
वो
benefit.
हमारे कल्याण के लिए यहाँ पर कहते कहते हैं कि नित्यम
That is why for our own benefit they are saying here
समस्या ये आ सकती है कि यज्ञ तो
that the all-pervading Brahman is ever present in yajna.
क्योंकि यज्ञ का प्राय अर्थ जो है वो ये लिया जाता है कि अग्नि में
So now
आहुति
somebody may say that every day, how will I perform yajna? Because yajna means offering
अनेक प्रकार
ahuti in the fire sacrifice. So that is not true because later Bhagavan will speak of many types of yajnas.
स्वाध्याय ज्ञान यज्ञस्य यतय संसित व्रता, तो द्रव्य इसको द्रव्य यज्ञ बोलते हैं.
So this type of yajna is called dravya yajna, where you give the ahuti
और भी प्रकार के यज्ञ
like the ghee in the fire sacrifice. But there is jnana yajna, tapa yajna, yoga yajna, swadhyaya yajna.
का अध्ययन करना भी यज्ञ है,
Studying shastra is also yajna. Obtaining knowledge is also yajna. Sharing knowledge is also yajna. Doing tapasya is also yajna. Doing yoga is also yajna. Doing karma yoga is also yajna.
क्रिया आप
Meaning that whatever action you perform for your spiritual advancement and for the advancement of the world and the society at large, that is all yajna.
तो इसी को यहाँ पर यज्ञ शब्द कहा गया. तस्मात्
This is what is referred here as yajna.
यानी कि उससे आपको केवल पहले तो इन्होंने कहा था कि ये जो यज्ञ करने से
Earlier Bhagavan had said that
वो होगा
by performing yajna,
दास्यन्ते यज्ञ भाविता के अनेन प्रश्वद्धमेव वो अस्ति इष्ट कामधुक् सहयज्ञ प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापति अनेन प्रश्वद्धम एष वो अस्तु इष्ट कामधुक्, कि ये आपकी कामधुक, ये कामधेनु.
earlier he had said that this yajna will fulfill your desires. It is like Kamadhenu.
भावयन्त श्रेय परमवाप्स्यते, इससे आप परम श्रेय की भी प्राप्ति करोगे.
He had also said that you will get supreme benefit from this.
भगवान जो है वो यज्ञ
So here also the point is that Bhagavan is ever present in yajna. That is why one name of Bhagavan is yajna,
प्राप्ति भी करेंगे.
meaning that by yajna you can obtain Bhagavan also. Like in Vaisheshika, how dharma is explained,
कहा है कि जिससे
there
आपको निश्रेयस
Kanadji has explained
की प्राप्ति हो,
that
तो
dharma,
और जहाँ जिससे
what gives you nishreyas and what gives you material advancement,
उसको धर्म बोलते हैं.
that is called dharma.
तो धर्म यज्ञ भी धर्म है.
So yajna is also dharma.
जिज्ञासा पूर्व मीमांसा में जो जिज्ञासा है उसका अर्थ
In Purumimamsa,
ही निकालते हैं.
the dharma what is mentioned, that is yajna.
पर्यायवाची.
So dharma, yajna, karma are all synonymous.
इनसे आप केवल यहाँ
The point here is that it is not that you will just get happiness in material world only by doing yajna, but your ultimate benefit
तो अभ्युदय और
that will also be available.
निश्चय निश्चय से सद्धर्म, तो वो धर्म है और उसी को यहाँ गीता में भी कहा गया है.
So that abhyudaya nishreyasa dharma is referred in Gita also. Here it is said that it is kamaduk, it fulfills material desires as well as it gives paramashreya, the ultimate benefit, that is Bhagavan. So it is not that if you become a religious person, you will die out of hunger all the time doing tapasya only. Bhagavan is not teaching that.
प्रश्न हो सकता है कि अगर
Now one question that may be raised here is that if Brahma is all pervading,
में कहा कि
as mentioned in this verse, that he is everywhere,
फिर यज्ञ ही क्यों किया जाए, तो
then the question may be, why do we have to do yajna also? Because he is everywhere. So the answer is that he is available everywhere, but he can be obtained through yajna only.
तो जैसे आप
So just like
श्वास लेते हैं प्राण से,
when we breathe, we are living by the prana. The prana is available everywhere. Air is everywhere, but you will get the air through the nose only, not through your hands,
हालांकि हर जगह ही है,
ears, feet.
है, लेकिन
Although vayu is everywhere, but the life cannot sustain by the air which is inside the ear.
पाइप है उसमें जल है, लेकिन
So
वो
just like
मिलता तो जहाँ
pipe
उसकी
has
पाइप
water,
लगी होती है वहीं से मिलता है,
but that water can be obtained only from that end where there is a
अगर
tap.
पाइप ही ब्लॉक हो जाए तो
But
आपको पानी नहीं मिलेगा।
if the pipe is blocked, you will
तो
not
इसी
get the
प्रकार
water.
भगवान तो सब जगह हैं,
Similarly,
लेकिन उनकी प्राप्ति का माध्यम
Bhagavan is everywhere, but the method for obtaining him,
और यज्ञ
that
जो
is
है वो
yajna.
एक
That is only by
विशेष
yajna Bhagavan can be attained.
उसका केवल
Yajna is
आहुति
a
डालना
has a
है,
very broad meaning.
उसका
It does not mean
कर्म
just
योग हो,
putting
कर्म योग हो,
ahuti.
ज्ञान योग हो, जैसा भगवान आगे ही कहेंगे कि ज्ञान यज्ञ तप
Whether
यज्ञ
jnana yajna, karma
स्वाध्याय
yajna,
यज्ञ द्रव्य यज्ञ
or
सब,
swadhyaya, dravya,
प्राणायाम को भी यज्ञ बताएंगे,
pranayam, he will refer to
ध्यान को
pranayam
भी यज्ञ
also as
बताएंगे,
yajna, dhyana also as
और
yajna,
अंत में वो स्वयं ही यज्ञ
and
सिद्ध
at the
होते हैं।
end, ultimately, he
तो ये
himself is yajna.
बहुत बड़ी साइंस
So
भगवान
this is a great
हमको बता रहे
science
हैं जीवन
that
जीने का,
Bhagavan is teaching here,
कि कैसे
the
हमें अपना जीवन
science of
जीना
life,
चाहिए,
how we should lead our life.
और कैसे समाज जो है वो शांति और सुख पूर्वक रह सकता है। तो ये एक मंत्र, एक फार्मूला, एक विधि
How humanity can
भगवान
live
ने
peacefully.
यहाँ पर, और बहुत ही प्रायोगिक चीज है,
And this is very practical.
और अगर हम इसका पालन नहीं करते हैं
If we do not follow
तो
this,
आगे वो बोलते हैं,
then next verse he
अगले
speaks.
श्लोक जो है, एवं प्रवर्तितम चक्रम नानुवर्तयति हय अघायुरिंद्रियारामो मोघम पार्थ से जीवति। हे अर्जुन, जो वर्णित तरीके से प्रवर्तित इस सृजनात्मक चक्र
Translation:
का
O
अनुवर्तन नहीं
Arjuna,
करता है,
one who in this
वो
life
पार्थ
does
को
not
जीवित
observe this
समझता है,
creative cycle set into
वो
motion
केवल इंद्रियों
in
को
the manner
भोग करता है,
depicted leads a
ऐसे
sinful
व्यक्ति
life,
जीवन व्यर्थ
delighting
जीता
only
है।
in the senses.
तो
Such a person
पार्थ
lives in vain.
सजीवति, यानी कि उसका जीवन जो है वो व्यर्थ है।
Meaning, his life is waste.
कहने का मतलब है कि उसको जीवन वास्तव में ना जिए तो अच्छा है,
Meaning, it is
मरना
better
चाहिए
that
ऐसे
he
व्यक्ति को,
dies, such a person dies
क्योंकि
only.
जीते हुए कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ी ही
Because
करेगा,
while
कुछ ना
living,
कुछ
he will
गड़बड़
simply
करेगा।
cause disturbance
पशु
in
भी
the
ऐसे ही
society.
हैं,
Even animals are
पशु
better than such a human being.
वो इस चक्र का
Because animals,
हनन नहीं करता है,
they do not cause disturbance in the
मनुष्य ही
cycle,
है जो इस
in the
चक्र को
balance of
तोड़ता
material
है,
nature.
ये
It
जो
is only
चक्र
human
भगवान
being
ने बनाया है।
who causes imbalance in the cycle.
तो चक्र था
What was that cycle that Bhagavan
वेद आए,
referred? The cycle was
वेद आए,
that from Bhagavan
वेद से
Vedas
यज्ञ
appear,
आया,
from Vedas karma
कर्म
appear,
से
from
वर्षा
karma
हुई,
there is
वर्षा से
rain,
अन्न आया,
from rain
अन्न
we
से
get
जीव,
food,
जीवों का
from
जन्म हुआ,
food
और वो जीव जो है वो फिर
there is
कर्म
life,
करेंगे,
and then
उससे फिर वर्षा होगी,
those living beings will again perform karma, again there will be rainfall.
साइकिल चलता रहेगा ऐसे।
Like this the cycle will rotate.
तो हम देखते हैं कि वास्तव में जैसे हमने
So
स्कूल में
we
पढ़ा था
see,
कि भाई
like
हम
we had studied in
श्वास
school,
रूप में लेते हैं
that
कार्बन
we
डाइऑक्साइड
breathe
छोड़ते हैं,
oxygen and we inhale oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide, and
ऑक्सीजन छोड़ते हैं,
trees and plants they inhale carbon dioxide and exhale
तो इसको
oxygen.
अगर
So
हम
this is a
डिस्टर्ब
cycle.
कर दें,
So
जैसे
if we
मान
disturb
लीजिए हम
this
पेड़ों को काट दें
by cutting the
और हम
trees
अपनी वायु लेते रहें, सांस लेते रहें,
and
और
we
उसको
keep inhaling the
कार्बन
air,
डाइऑक्साइड को ऑक्सीजन बनाने के लिए तो पेड़ नहीं रहे,
so but now there are no more
सृष्टि
trees
के
which will
नियम है, उसका परिणाम है,
convert
कोई भोगेगा,
carbon dioxide to
हम
oxygen.
सृष्टि के
So
सारे पेड़
then
काट दें
when the cycle is disturbed, then we will have to suffer.
तो क्या होगा,
Suppose
मनुष्य
we
जीवित रह सकता है?
destroy all the trees on this planet,
नहीं रह सकता।
then will human being be able to live? Nobody can live then.
तो लोग, इसलिए हमारे यहाँ जो पेड़ों की पूजा की जाती थी उसका एक
This
विज्ञान था
is the reason why in our dharma trees were worshipped, plants were
विज्ञान की बात
worshipped.
है कि हमारे यहाँ पीपल का पेड़ है,
The interesting point is
वट वृक्ष,
that Vatavriksha, the people
तुलसी का
tree,
पेड़,
Tulsi,
तो इन पेड़ों का बहुत महत्व बताया गया है,
they have been glorified very
इनको
much in
पूज्य माना गया
Shastra.
है।
They are
इसका
regarded
क्या
as
महत्व है?
worshipable.
एक तो
So there are two
इनके
reasons behind that.
फ्रूट्स और इनके
One is
फल
that people or
सृष्टि में आकर
Vatavriksha,
के बहुत ज्यादा
and
ऑक्सीजन पैदा करते हैं,
in science also it is said that they release a lot of oxygen.
वृक्ष है
And
उसके
the other
फल की
point is
रक्षा करेंगे,
that those
आपको
trees
अगर
which give fruits,
आम का
people
पेड़
will
है
anyway protect them.
तो
Suppose
अगर
you have a
उसको
mango tree and a
आपको
people
वुड की
tree,
जरूरत है तो आप आम के
and
पेड़ को
you
काटेंगे
want
ना कि
wood,
वट
which one will you cut? The mango tree or the people tree which does not give fruit? You'll obviously cut that tree which does not give fruit, because the tree which is giving fruit, you will protect that. So the trees which give fruits, human being will anyway protect them. So, but human being will cut those trees which will not, which don't give fruits. So those trees have been regarded worshipable in Shastra.
नहीं तो उनको समाप्त कर देते कब
This is why in India people are afraid of cutting the Vatavriksha. Otherwise, they would have destroyed this tree, because this tree neither gives flower nor fruits. Because those trees which give flowers, which give fruits, you will protect them. But Shastra has said that this people tree is worshipable. Bhagavan also says in Gita that among the trees I am Ashwatha. So it is such a great science how intelligently it has been designed. And the real fact is that the people tree has elements, such elements by which it is worshipable also. That's why it is called people's tree. It is the tree of the people. So this cycle, the way we see it, it is not just this much only. There are other cycles also. That is the cycle of yajna. One cycle that has already been explained by science, the cycle of inhaling and exhaling oxygen, carbon dioxide. But there are other cycle also. The whole world is a cycle. The earth is also rotating, sun is moving, galaxy is there. The whole material creation, our body also has chakra. So if we break that chakra, then we only will have to suffer. So what has human being done? Human beings have cut off the trees, and so there is more carbon, more than required carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is being generated by burning the petrol and other gases also. So there is imbalance in the nature. This is what it means to break the cycle. That's why here it is said that one who is breaking this cycle, his life is vain, his life is sinful. Sin means suffering. Aga means sin, and sin means that which gives us pain, suffering. In practical sense, it means this much only, that activity which suffering to gives suffering to society, that is sin. And what brings pleasure in our life in society, that is piety. So Gita is telling that those who are breaking this cycle of material nature, they are leading a sinful life. So now so many satellites are there in the space, they are also creating pollution. What will be their effect later on? Like I had heard the news that Elon Musk is going to release 40,000 satellites in the space. So it will have some effect. Now, people say that ozone layer protects our environment. So there will be holes in the ozone layer or no? So people do not think about this. So all of this will become cause of trouble in society. So these people are referred to as Indriyaram. Aram means, in Sanskrit, Aram means garden.
तो वो इंद्रियां ही उसका बगीचा है.
So this, for this person, his senses are their garden, are his garden. So he is just delighting in the garden of his senses. That's why his life is vain. His intelligence does not function beyond his senses or pleasure of senses.
लेकिन उसका परिणाम क्या होता है?
He just plans how to obtain sense objects by which his senses will get pleasure. But the problem is that if he delights in the garden of his senses, the real garden will be destroyed.
चक्र भगवान ने बनाया है और
So Bhagavan has created this cycle, and generally cycle rotates.
वाला चक्र नहीं है, ये ऊपर ही
But this cycle is not like the other cycle which rotates, goes up and down. This cycle always goes up only. This is a special cycle that Bhagavan has created which always leads to your advancement. It is not like going up and down. It is not that type of cycle.
जो उन्होंने पूरा बनाया अन्यद भवती भवंती भूतानि से यज्ञ तक, और उस चक्र का मूल कारण भगवान और
So the
भगवान की
cycle that
वाणी,
Bhagavan created for the rain, food, grains is all created by Bhagavan,
तो उसका
and
मूल
the
कारण जो है वो उनकी वाणी जो
main thing behind this is Shastra, that is the Vani of Bhagavan, meaning that if our life is led according to the injunctions of Shastra, then we can lead a happy life and everything will be proper.
विरुद्ध कार्य करते
But and if we act contrary to the directions of Shastra,
तो
then
उसका परिणाम यही होगा,
this will be the result. Life will be sinful. It will just be delighting in the garden of senses.
भगवान
So this is a very important point that Bhagavan is mentioning for our own benefit. People think that religion is just blind,
में कोई
living blindly.
बात
There is no logic in that.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है,
It's not like that.
ये सब तर्क सम्मत बात
This is all very much logical what Bhagavan is explaining here.
वो आपके तर्क से
Yeah, there will be some things which will be beyond your logical understanding,
बताई गई हैं,
but
तर्क सम्मत हैं और उससे आप समझ सकते
many things which are mentioned here are very much logical, and what is beyond your logic we should understand that is also correct only.
अगर कोई जीवन जीता है
So if somebody is living like this,
रहेगा और
then he will be happy
शांति रहेगी।
and there will be peace in the society.
आगे भी इस बात को बार-बार कहेंगे।
So in the upcoming verses also Bhagavan will speak about this.
सिद्धिम विन्दति मानव, कि आप अपने कर्म से उनकी अर्चना कीजिए भगवान की, और
So by karmas he should be worshipped.
तो अपने अपने कर्म में अगर व्यक्ति रत रहता है,
If every person is busy in his own karma, meaning that he performs it properly, then he can obtain siddhi by that also. But that has to be done with the proper understanding, with the goal as Bhagavan, keeping Bhagavan in the center. If the person continues to perform his karma, then he will be benefited by that. This is explained in Purva Mimamsa also, in Vedanta, in Gita also.
गीतामृतम महत दुग्धम गीतामृतम महत। तो ये सब शास्त्रों का निचोड़ भगवान यहाँ पर दे रहे हैं।
So Bhagavan is giving the essence of all the shastras here. If you study that, this will be the essence. That is why Gita is very important.
इनका व्याख्या प्राय तो सब लोग ऐसे करते हैं,
These verses mostly have been explained like this only, but Sri Ramanujacharya has explained in little different way, and that is a very unique explanation, and that is also fine. It's not that it is wrong. He says,
बात तो ठीक है, इसमें तो कोई अंतर नहीं करते हैं कि अन्न से भूत होते हैं और पर्जन्याद अन्न संभव।
so he also agrees that by anna bhuta is there,
उससे भूत होते हैं। तो भूत मतलब यहाँ पर सजीव व्यक्ति।
So here bhuta refers to living person.
और अन्न का अर्थ शुक्र शोणित, यानी कि जो सीमन और स्त्री का जो रज है, और यज्ञात भवति पर्जन्य, और यज्ञ से वृष्टि होती है।
Rain is caused by yajna,
और यज्ञ कर्म से होता है, तो कर्म
and yajna is born by karma.
वाला कर्म नहीं बताते हैं कि जो शास्त्र।
So here he doesn't refer to the karma in Shastra, do this or do that. He is referring to karma as collecting dravya.
इनके जो आप क्रिया करते हैं यज्ञ करने के लिए,
meaning the actions you perform
द्रव्य
for
चाहिए,
yajna,
लकड़ी, अन्न,
collecting dravya,
को लाना,
wood, etc.,
ये कर्म है।
bringing them, that is karma.
और कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवम विद्धि, और कर्म जो है वो ब्रह्म से आता है, लेकिन ब्रह्म का अर्थ वो
And
जैसे
karma
वेद का
is from Brahma,
पहली
but
व्याख्या में वहाँ वेद
like we explained Brahma as Veda earlier, he explains Brahma refers to the sharir, the body, that is Brahma.
कर्म तो शरीर से ही होता है ना,
Because karma is done by sharir, body only.
वैशेषिक वाला ही कर्म है।
The karma is that of Vaisheshika only.
तो ब्रह्म का अर्थ शरीर कैसे हो गया? कहते शरीर
So
क्या
then
है?
how is Brahma sharir? So he says that this is transformation of nature only, and Prakriti is anyway referred to as Brahma.
भगवान गीता में आगे
In Gita, Bhagavan says in the 14th chapter
ये प्रकृति मेरी योनि है, इसलिए
that
प्रकृति के लिए वो
this Prakriti is my yoni.
शब्द का व्यक्त करते हैं।
For Prakriti, he uses the word Brahma.
उद्भवम विद्धि का मतलब हुआ कि जो कर्म आप जो करते हैं ये शरीर से ही
The
तो पैदा
karma
होता
that you perform, it is brought from the body only. That is why Brahma is body.
और शरीर कहाँ से होता है? शरीर इसलिए
And how do you get the body? Akshara refers to the Jiva.
जीव है तभी तो शरीर है,
If there is Jiva, then only there is body.
तो फिर वो कैसे होता है?
Without Jiva, how will there be body?
जीव को आगे 15वें अध्याय में कूटस्थ अक्षर
In the 15th chapter,
भगवान कहते हैं कि
Jiva, for Jiva, Bhagavan will say that it is Kutastha, it is called Akshara.
शब्द का अर्थ हो गया जीव,
So Akshara means Jiva.
उसके बाद में तस्मात् सर्वगतम ब्रह्म नित्यम यज्ञ प्रतिष्ठितम, तो वहां पे ब्रह्म का फिर शरीर अर्थ किया। तस्मात्
So
सर्वगतम
there Brahma is referred to as Sharira.
मतलब सबका जो शरीर है,
Sarvagatam means one who has the body.
कि उसका मूल जो है वो यज्ञ
Is
है,
established in the Yajna,
उसका जो
meaning
मूल है
its
वो यज्ञ का।
Moola is Yajna.
पूरे श्लोक का अर्थ बिल्कुल अलग उन्होंने लगाया, लेकिन
So
बात
he has given a totally different meaning to this verse, but ultimately point is same only. He is also saying that Jiva subsists on, living being subsists on anna or food, and that is born from rain.
कर्म करना पड़ता है, कर्म के लिए शरीर चाहिए, शरीर के लिए आत्मा, और वो फिर कर्म करेगा, तो ये चक्र है। तो उसको चक्र को हमको सही रखना है, संतुलन बना के रखना है, तो उससे फिर
So we should maintain the cycle. We should not disturb the balance of material nature. Only then society can function properly, and Bhagavan appears in this world to give this teaching only. Because Bhagavan Vishnu is the maintainer, like Shiva is the destroyer and Brahma is the creator. So if Vishnu is the maintainer, then how does he maintain? For that he is giving us the Siddhanta, that how this system will function. Because any institution, in order to operate it, you need a set of rules, system. So he is talking of this system only, that by this system the world will function. This is the essence of these three verses. We will stop here. If you have any question, you can ask.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी। पिछली कक्षा में क्या कहते हैं एक
Question
शब्द की विस्मृति
in the previous class, due to forgetting one word, I could not clarify my question properly. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a verse that whoever is born in India, he should perfect his life and do paropakar. And there was talk of, we discussed about Sankirtana Yajna, Japa Yajna. So you had asked me that where is it written?
जो चार सिद्धांतों पे के आधार पे उसको बताया गया है, जैसे कि चार सिद्धांत क्या है कि
So therefore I found there is a book in which four principles are given, that books are the basis, purity is the force, utility is the principle, and preaching is the essence. So the title of that book is Preaching is the Essence.
ये मैंने बोला कि अभी
So like I said that
करी करो परोपकार
it is said in Shastra that whoever is born in Bharat, he should perfect his life and benefit others. And Sankirtan Yagya, and it is said that preaching is paropakar,
संकीर्तन
benefit to others.
ये पर्यायवाची है।
So counter question is Sankirtan and preaching synonymous?
मिलित्वा भगवान नाम कीर्तन, बहुत लोग एक साथ मिलकर
Sankirtan means that many people congregate together and they sing Bhagavan's name. That is Sankirtan.
यही अर्थ है ना संकीर्तन का।
This is the meaning of Sankirtan.
हाँ यही है और एक अर्थ
तो
ये
अगर
भी है
यही अर्थ है तो इसका फिर अर्थ प्रचार कैसे होगा?
Then, if this is the meaning, then how does it mean preaching?
मतलब तो होता है कि किसी को
Preaching means that you
अपनी बात मनवाएं।
प्रचार को इस तरीके से जैसे
convince others to follow your idea.
हाँ, चांदकाजी वाला
तो ठीक है, लेकिन मेरे को ये बताइए कि संकीर्तन का अर्थ प्रचार कैसे होगा?
So my question is, how does Sankirtan mean preaching? What Mahaprabhu did or not do is a different point. I am just focusing on the word meaning.
प्रचार पर्यायवाची कैसे होगा?
How do Sankirtan and preaching become synonymous?
संकीर्तन तो स्पष्ट अर्थ है, किसी से भी पूछ लो आप।
Sankirtan's meaning is very simple. Ask anybody.
का एक अर्थ ये भी पता नहीं, अब आप इसको बताएंगे कि बोला कि सम्यक रूप
So
से
one meaning is also I've heard that to do kirtan in complete way.
कीर्तन कर रहे हैं
Like if we are whether we are doing japa or kirtan,
पूरी तरह से एकाग्र करके या समस्त
we
ठीक है, मान लो
focus our mind, senses. So okay, if let's accept that point, but still, how does that mean? How does it refer to preaching?
थोड़ा सा वो था, मैंने कहा कि इसको पीछे जो हुआ था इसको क्लियर करने के लिए अंडरस्टैंडिंग।
और अगर
So
ऐसा
this is what I wanted to clarify. So if you want to derive this meaning, you can do that because many meanings can be derived from a word. But then you have to say that it is your meaning. Did you have derived that?
शब्दों के अर्थ बदलते भी रहते हैं समय
Because word meanings keep changing according to time also.
के कीजिए, लेकिन
So you can derive this meaning,
कारण तो बताना पड़ेगा ना।
but you should tell the reason also for deriving such a meaning. Like in Shastra it is said Gangayam Ghosha, that
गांव,
there is a village in Ganga.
तो इसलिए वहाँ गंगा शब्द का अर्थ फिर गंगा
So there
तीर करते हैं।
Ganga meaning is explained as the bank of Ganga
हो नहीं सकता,
because the village cannot be in the Ganga.
समझे ना? तो उसके अन्वय में अनुपत्ति देख के उसका अर्थ करते हैं, उसको लाक्षणिक अर्थ बोलते हैं। तो ऐसा
So that
ही
is a
आप
Lakshanic meaning.
निकालेंगे।
So if you derive Lakshanic meaning,
प्रवृत्ति निमित्त है, मुख्य अर्थ है वो तो ऐसा है नहीं।
that is not the primary meaning of Sankirtan.
तरीके से इसको लिया गया होगा।
तो फिर उसका फिर आपको कारण बताना पड़ेगा कि ये
So
वाला
if you take the other meaning, then you have to also give the reason for taking the other meaning.
वो वाला अर्थ लिया,
And did Mahaprabhu intend that meaning?
डिसोबीडियंस
You are telling he did civil disobedience. So what did he do in that civil disobedience? He just did kirtan. Did he do any preaching?
So भक्ति मार्ग में जो अलग अलग जगह है, तो कौन सा जगह जो है
So in Bhakti Marga, the different yagyas are there. Which is the yagya that pleases Bhagavan the most in bhakti?
जैसे
So first you tell what are the different yagyas.
नहीं, आप बताइए ना, उनमें से तो मैं बताऊंगा कि कौन सा अच्छा है। आपकी अपनी सूची दीजिए यज्ञों की, किस किस सूची यज्ञ की बात
You
कर
give me the list of yagyas which you are.
जैसे कि हम बोलते हैं कीर्तन तो एक तरीका यज्ञ है,
Like kirtan is yagya,
like fire यज्ञ,
fire.
तो ये तो गीता में भगवान ने कहा हुआ यज्ञ नाम जप यज्ञ अस्मि।
So in Gita, Bhagavan has said yagyanam japa yagyasmi.
में कहते हैं कि
In the 10th chapter, Bhagavan says that in among yagyas I am japa yagya.
स्वयं ही अपने मुख से बोल रहे हैं,
He himself is speaking that.
लेकिन अब वो कहते हैं कि जप यज्ञ क्यों करें और इसको क्यों समझें।
But she is asking that why should we do this? Why do we have to understand this?
यूट्यूब से प्रश्न है, जब जीव शरीर बदलता है तो मन
Next
बुद्धि
question,
तथा
when
अहंकार के
Jiva's body changes, how do
विभिन्न
mind,
शरीरों में
body,
विभिन्न प्रकार से कार्य
mind,
करते हैं।
intelligence, ahankar change? In different bodies, Atma operates in different way. So question, what do you mean by mind,
ये तो गीता में
intelligence
भगवान कहते हैं
and all
कि
changing?
मम चापि स्मरन् भावम
In Gita, Bhagavan says,
कलेवरम तम तम एवेति कौन्तेय सदा तद भाव भाविता। भाव का मतलब जो आपकी विचारधारा है, तो जो आपकी विचारधारा
Bhava means your mentality, your way of thinking.
विचारधारा से आप
So according to your mentality, you will get the next body. So here is the change.
उसी के अनुसार तो बोल रहे हैं कि जो आपका भाव है,
According to that, he is telling that the end, whatever bhava you have,
नहीं है सदा तद भाव भाविता,
and it is not just the bhava at the end.
क्योंकि भाव नहीं
Bhagavan is telling whatever is your primary bhava, the predominant bhava,
सदा भाव भावित, जिसमें आप हमेशा डूबे रहते हैं, उसी के अनुसार दूसरा शरीर मिलेगा।
whatever bhava you are immersed in, according to that you will get different body. So what change?
उनका ही दूसरा प्रश्न है, क्या यह संभव है कि व्यक्ति
Is
ऐसे
it,
पेशे
next
में
question, is it possible
अच्छा कर रहा हो जो उसका
that a person is doing well in a profession
परंतु
which is
अध्यात्म से
different
उसकी
from his
प्रगति नहीं हो
swabhava,
रही है? क्या
but he is
उन्हें
not
गुरु
progressing
या
spiritually?
मार्गदर्शन कर सकते हैं?
Can only a guru guide him?
तो आध्यात्मिक करेगा। अगर
So
आप
if he doesn't know himself, then he has to take guidance from guru. If you yourself do not have knowledge, you have to take knowledge from the other person.
ये तो समाज में भी ऐसा करते हैं,
In society also
ऐसी करते
it
हैं
happens.
जिनके बारे में हमें स्वयं पता नहीं होता है,
Whatever we do not know ourselves,
स्वयं समझ सकते
we
हैं,
have to
स्वयं समझ
consult
सकते हैं,
others.
और
Either we understand it ourselves. If we cannot understand ourselves,
सहायता लेते हैं, तो
then we take help from others. So spiritual path is also like this.
स्वयं समझ के कीजिए, नहीं समझते
Either you understand it yourself,
किसी ऐसे व्यक्ति से समझ
or
जो जानता हो।
you understand it from a person who knows it.
अच्छा, सो मेरा प्रश्न ये था कि हमने इस श्रृंखला का नाम,
So question is that this series is entitled Bhagavad Gita and Our Life.
चीजें आप बता रहे हैं,
So you are teaching lot of practical things.
श्लोकों में
Like in today's 3 verses,
किया कि
you emphasized on the point that if a person,
तपस्या
everything is yagya, tapasya, yog, pranayam, etc.
व्यक्ति, क्योंकि
If a person, like in today's society, is based on artha and kama,
अपना जीवन तपस्या रूपी
if a person leads his life
तो मेरा प्रश्न
just by tapasya, yoga,
होने के पश्चात इस मार्ग में आना चाहिए, या फिर
should he come to this path by earning sufficient wealth?
क्योंकि हम आमतौर पे देखते हैं कि भारत में जिसके पास कुछ काम नहीं होता वो साधु बन जाता है, और
Because we see generally in India, those who do not have work, they become sadhus. They come to pilgrimages and depend on bhiksha. So this was my doubt.
तो इसमें 2-3 बिंदु हैं जो समझने पड़ेंगे आपको।
So there are 2-3 points that you have to understand. First of all, there is no meaning of the phrase sufficient wealth, saying that when I will have sufficient wealth, then I will do yoga. Then there will never be a time where your wealth will be sufficient, because it has no limit.
क्या वो कहते हैं ना, दुर्योधन कहते हैं कि
Like Duryodhan says in Gita that
बलम भीमाभिरक्षितम अपर्याप्तम तो बलम अस्माकम बलम भीष्माभिरक्षितम। तो कहते हैं हमारा बल जो है वो अपर्याप्त है और इन लोगों का बल जो है वो पर्याप्त है। तो इसलिए आपके जीवन में कभी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि
in your life there will never be a time when your wealth will become sufficient. It will never happen.
अर्थ की एक बड़ी विचित्र,
This is a very strange point about wealth. So forget this point about sufficiency of wealth. If you have to do, then whatever situation you are in currently, you have to start from there. There is no restriction if at all you want to do it. But if you don't want to do it, then your mind, your intelligence, your ahankara, they will give you a lot of suggestions that you should not do this. How can I do it now? What will society say? There will be disturbance in society. How will this society function? Those who do not want to follow spirituality, they say, how will society function? Bhagavan is also telling that I have made this cycle, continue it. And those who do not want to enter the spiritual path, they also say that if everyone enters spiritual path, starts begging, how will this society function? They also give this logic.
तो दूसरी बात ये है कि लोग जो है आ
Second
जाते
point
हैं
is that
साधु बन जाते हैं
people come on this path, become sadhu and do bhiksha. So it is not the way you are thinking that those who do not have any work, they become sadhu. Becoming sadhu is not easy. Give it a try, then you will understand.
हाँ उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि साधु बन के जो है
Yeah,
आप
it also does not mean that becoming a sadhu, you do not perform your own prescribed duty, because Bhagavan has been telling this continuously.
कि आप कर्म जो करें वो यज्ञ के लिए करें
That what when you perform karma, do it for yajna. So when you become a sadhu, then you have to lead your life like a sadhu, because sadhu also has responsibilities.
के लिए इसीलिए बनाई कि वो
The system of bhiksha for sadhu has been made that so that sadhu is performing this type of beneficial works for society. He doesn't have time to earn wealth. It is not that some incapable person enters and just starts earning money,
अपना कर्तव्य है उसको
but actually a sadhu also has lot of duties, and if he performs those duties, then he has the adhikar for bhiksha.
पालन नहीं करता तो वो
But if he does not perform his duties, then the cycle breaks.
जो अपना जीवन केवल अध्यात्म को ही समर्पित कर देंगे तो वो एक दूसरे को सहायता करें
So because some people will be just earning wealth, some people will be into spirituality, so both should help each other.
असंतुलन पैदा हो जाएगा
So if the sadhu does not perform his duty, then there will be imbalance. So we should understand that.
धन्यवाद बाबाजी महाराज।
अनुश्री जी का प्रश्न है कि विवाह एक यज्ञ है
Next
और
question:
यज्ञ
marriage is a yajna, and in order to continue the yajna, the couple has to,
सक्षम नहीं
if the couple is not competent enough to perform all the purusharthas, and then there is disturbance in the relation. So in today's time,
प्रोत्साहित करना चाहिए
should marriage be encouraged? So answer, otherwise what will you do? You are telling the marriage leads to imbalance, so will there be balance by not marrying?
संतुलन नहीं रख सकता तो क्या सोच रहे बाहर जाके संतुलन बनाए
Those who are disturbed in married life, do you think they will become peaceful by getting out of married life? So competency is required in every field.
अगर उस वहां पर वो
It is not that
से कार्य नहीं
if you are not able to lead life properly after marriage, and then you come out of marriage and you will become very competent.
घर गृहस्थी में ऐसी
Whatever mental state you have in the family, you will have the same mental state when you leave the family. That is what was being asked earlier, that sadhus, they come, the people become sadhu and take bhiksha.
जो इस दृष्टि
So
साधु बन रहा है
those who are becoming sadhu,
करना पड़ेगा मेरे को
thinking that I will not have to work,
वो तो अपने
I will just get bhiksha, they are already fallen from their path. So what spirituality will they perform?
सीता भागवत कहती है कि जो साधु लोगों का मार्ग है वो स्तब्ध लोगों ने दूषित कर दिए
Bhagavad says that there are people who have polluted the path of sadhus. So this is the pollution. A person who is not committed to a person who is not dutiful, he will not be dutiful living in ashram also. People come in ashram, you give them all facilities for studying, but they do not study, they do not come to class for attending the lecture.
कर सकते हैं आप
So what can you expect from them in spirituality?
यूट्यूब से एक और प्रश्न है कि
Next
हमें
question.
परिवार इसलिए मिला है ताकि हम
We have received a family.
उनके प्रति भावात्मक लगाव रखें क्या यह सत्य है
नहीं परिवार मिला है आपको अपना कर्तव्य
You have received a family in order to perform your duty.
और कर्तव्य जो है वो मूल कर्तव्य आपका भगवान के प्रति है
Your primary duty is toward Bhagavan.
तो ये मूल कर्तव्य है
This is the main duty.
दृष्टि में रख के कार्य करना है आप अपने
You
परिवार
should act considering that.
ये नहीं
you live in a loving manner in the family. Nobody is telling in Shastra that you consider your family as a burden or you hate family members. Nowhere is it said like that. They also belong to Bhagwan.
तो उनको उसी दृष्टि से देखना है, क्योंकि आप कहीं भी
They
चले
should be
जाएंगे
viewed from that angle only. Because wherever you go, leaving your family, when you enter an ashram, there also you have a parivar. Like we also say we have parivar, there is Gadadhar parivar, Nityananda parivar.
परिवार की भावना वहां भी रहेगी,
So
लेकिन
the
भावना
feeling of family will be there also, but
भगवान उसके
it has to be centered around Bhagavan.
यही बात तो हमारी प्रीति
It has to be based on Bhagavan. This is what Jiva Goswami Ji was teaching in Preeti Sandarbha, that Mother Kunti, she prayed that please break off the shackles of affection that I have towards the Vrishnis, Pandavas, whatever attachment I have towards them, please break it off. So Jiva Goswami Ji explains that one is two types of attachment are there. One is that because they are my relatives, and other is because they are devotees of Bhagavan. So Kunti's prayer is that please break off the first type of attachment, which is based on feeling of relative, which is a cause of bondage. But the second attachment, because they are devotees of Bhagavan, that is very good. So if you are attached to family, you may be attached to family thinking your family members are relatives, or you may be attached to them thinking they belong to Bhagavan. So we should have the second type of attachment. The first type of attachment is all temporary, because in previous lives we had so many mothers, fathers, children, relatives. We do not know anything about them now. But Bhagavan was present there also, now also, and he'll be in future also. So our vision should be focused on Bhagavan. Then there is no problem.
युक्त वैराग्य मुच्यते, तो हमारा निर्बंध जो है वो कृष्ण संबंध पर होना चाहिए.
So our nirbandha should be based on Krishna sambandha.
तावद रागादयस्तेन तावत कारागृहम गृहम. ये राग इत्यादि ये चोर तभी तक हैं, और घर जो है वो जेल तभी तक है जब तक तावत कृष्ण न.
So attachment is a thief and house is a jail only as long as
हथकड़ी है,
you are bound by moha, until and unless you are not a devotee of Bhagavan. Becoming devotee of Bhagavan means living a life centered on Bhagavan. Once you have that, then raga dvesh will not affect you. This is the primary teaching of instruction of Bhagavan.
ठीक है, मंगलाचरण. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव. एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा. कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेताः. यच्छ्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपापप्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम् हरि ओम तत्सत्।